One of the first things I did to my Discovery was put these cheap Hella 700FF lights on it. These are a 7-inch 55-watt halogen light, and they offer a slight increase in light output over the stock fog lights, but in a driving light pattern. They're okay, but when Aux Beam asked if I wanted to try a set of their 9-inch LED lights, I obviously said yes. I've heard good reviews about the Aux Beam stuff, but they're much less expensive than some of the bigger brands, so I was naturally a bit skeptical about quality. Opening the box, however, it's pretty clear these are quality lights. The aluminum housing and mounting brackets are nice, and at a little under $300 for the pair, I wouldn't have been surprised if the housings were plastic, like the Hellas they're replacing. They come with everything you need to install them. These anti-vibration pads, what looks to be stainless hardware, and a wiring harness. The harness looks okay at first glance. I like these Deutsch DT connectors, but the supplied 40-amp relay seems a little cheap. I'm sure it's fine, but time will tell, I guess. The switch is nothing special, but it looks okay too. Because I have a flat steel bumper on the Disco, mounting these is about as simple as it gets. All I need to do is make sure the winch lever clears the light bracket and the connector doesn't hit the grill. I should also mention that I really like this up and down adjustment with the 2 bolts. It's really easy to adjust and really solid once it's tightened down. All the cheaper driving lights I've had have used a single bolt for this adjustment, and it's always a huge pain to get it right. I was cautiously optimistic that I'd be able to use the same mounting holes for the old lights, but they aren't even close, so I'm drilling new holes. Again, steel bumper, so who cares? I'm not sure why they give you both a nylock nut and a split washer, but I guess some redundancy can't hurt. So there's the light mounted. Pretty solid. I'll have to adjust them later, but for now I'll move on to the wiring. The first thing to do is mount the relay so I know how long all the wires need to be. There's a decent spot in the headlight bucket on a Discovery 1, so that's where it's going. I had to drill a new hole, and I'm painting it so this old British steel doesn't rust, which feels a little like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, but here we are. With the relay mounted, the only connections to make are positive and ground. I'm connecting the ground to the horn mounting bolt, which seems to work okay. The positive will tie into this spare lug in the fuse box. The only wiring that has to go into the cabin is for the switch, and that turned out to be a lot more difficult than I thought it'd be. I ended up having to partially remove the fender and use an existing hole in the body. With a rubber grommet to protect the wiring, the switch connector is now inside the cabin. I used some silicone adhesive to fully seal it off. I'm going to get a proper switch panel so I can run winch power, rear locker, and lights to one central location in the cabin, so the new light switch is temporarily sitting in the ashtray. Not my proudest moment, but it'll work for now. Moving back up to the lights, the harness has to be adjusted to fit my vehicle. In total, I made 3 splices like this using heat shrink butt connectors. If you stagger them, you can usually fit sheathing or heat shrink over them pretty easily. The light wires go from the relay in the headlight bucket straight out to the passenger headlight, and along the bottom of the bumper over to the driver's side light. The weather lately has not been conducive to shooting video at night, but I took advantage of a break in the rain and did the best I could. Okay, so these are my normal low beams. These are my high beams. And those are the aux beams. Not bad. One thing I noticed is that there are 2 brighter square areas right in the middle of the beam. Presumably those are coming from the big LED chip in the middle. These lights have a bunch of small LEDs around the outside. I don't know how many, a bunch. And then one big one in the middle that's kind of like a projector. And it looks like that projector makes a pretty square bright spot. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's pretty apparent to me. Another thing is that these could definitely be adjusted up. They're a little too low right now. But overall, they're insanely bright. Way, way brighter than my brights, or my normal lights, or the old Hellas that I took off. So, pretty good. As long as they hold up, I think these would be a great option. I will adjust them a little higher to throw light further down the trail. But even as they are, they're a massive improvement over what I've had. To get close to 38,000 lumens from a set of round lights for under $300 is pretty incredible. I've been looking around and I can't find anything that compares in both performance and price. If you know of anything, let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Overall, I'm really impressed with the Aux Beam 9-inch lights. I would absolutely not hesitate to grab a set for $300. Moreover, I'm psyched to have enough light to make off-road videos at night a possibility. Like and subscribe if you're into that kind of thing. Thanks for watching.